Okay, so a political bombshell has just dropped in India. And believe me, the shockwaves are being felt all across the country's political landscape. Let's break down exactly what just went down. What we're talking about here is a massive, sudden rupture inside the Aam Aadmi Party, AAP, which is one of the most important political forces in the country. It feels like almost overnight, the party's very foundation has been shaken to its core. And the scale of this, it's just staggering. 7 out of 10. Think about that. That's how many of AAP's members in the Rajya Sabha, India's upper house of parliament, just up and quit the party. We're talking 70% of their entire upper house strength gone. Just like that. So yeah, this isn't just a few politicians jumping ship. This is a full-blown political earthquake. It's an exodus, led by one of the party's most famous faces, Raghav Ikadia. And all 7 of these MPs have announced they're merging with their biggest rival, the Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP. So the big question, the one everyone is asking is, why, right? Why would so many high-profile leaders just walk out all at the same time? Let's start by looking at the story coming from the defectors themselves. The leader of this group, Raghav Chadha, put out a really powerful statement. He's basically alleging the party has completely lost its way. He said, and I'm quoting here, "The party, which was formed with a pledge to end corruption, is now deeply trapped in the hands of corrupt and compromised individuals." I mean, that's a direct shot at the very heart of AAP's identity. But honestly, it gets even more serious. Another one of the MPs who left, Swati Maliwal, made some truly explosive claims. She's not just talking about unchecked corruption, but also this deeply personal and violent incident, alleging, at his residence, on his signal, I was brutally beaten. So it's this combination of corruption claims and these really serious personal grievances that makes up their side of the story. Now, as you can probably imagine, the Aam Aadmi Party wasn't just going to take this lying down. Oh no, they came out swinging with a pretty blistering counterattack, and they're framing this whole thing in a completely different way. AAP's leadership, through their MP Sanjay Singh, immediately shut down the idea that this was some kind of internal rebellion. Instead, they are pointing the finger directly at the BJP. He claims the Bharatiya Janata Party has launched Operation Lotus, an attempt to obstruct the good work in Punjab. Now, this term, Operation Lotus, that's basically code for what they claim are schemes by the BJP to poach lawmakers from other parties. And another AAP leader, Saurabh Bharadwaj, he adds another layer to this whole conspiracy theory. He's arguing that the BJP is basically weaponizing central government agencies. He said the Enforcement Directorate, or ED, has been turned into BJP's private Gestapo. So the claim here is really clear. They're saying these MPs didn't want to leave, they were pressured, maybe even intimidated into it. So what you have here are 2 completely different realities, right? 2 stories that just can't both be true. And this slide lays out that divide perfectly. On one side, the defectors are saying the party is corrupt, it's authoritarian. On the other, AAP leadership is screaming, this is a political conspiracy, a hostile takeover by the BJP using fear and greed. 2 narratives, 1 event. All of this brings up a huge question that I'm sure a lot of you are thinking right now. Wait a minute, how is this even legal? Aren't there laws in place to stop politicians from just switching teams whenever they want? Well, yes, there are. But the answer to how this happened lies in a really fascinating, and some would say controversial, legal technicality. You see, India has something called the anti-defection law. It's actually written right into the Constitution, and its whole purpose was to stop individual politicians from crossing the floor, switching parties for personal gain. Normally, if you do that, you get disqualified. But, and this is the really key part, there's this giant exception in the law. It says that if at least 2/3 of a party's lawmakers all decide to leave and merge with another party at the same time, it's not considered a defection. Legally, it's called a merger. And as this chart shows so clearly, that is exactly what happened here. The magic number you have to hit is 2/3, which comes out to about 66.7%. By getting 7 out of their 10 MPs to leave, they hit 70%. They crossed that legal line, and according to the experts, that protects them from disqualification. It was a numbers game, plain and simple, and it was calculated down to the last person. So with the move being legally sound, what happens now? What are the actual real-world consequences of all this? Let's dive into the political fallout. For the Aam Aadmi Party, the impact is, well, it's severe. This is a massive setback, especially right before major elections. It obviously weakens their voice in the upper house, but maybe more importantly, it raises serious questions about their internal stability. It definitely puts a dent in their big plans for national expansion and forces them to play defense when they really need to be on offense. And you can bet their opponents are not wasting any time capitalizing on this. A BJP spokesperson, Shehzad Poonawalla, framed this as a total failure by AAP. He said the party should be looking inward, and then got in this dig, mockingly calling it Arvind Akeli Ki Party, which basically translates to Arvind's party alone. Which leaves us with the ultimate question, the one that is going to define this moment in Indian politics. Was this the inevitable internal collapse of a party that lost its way, just like the defectors claim? Or was it a brilliantly executed, legally sound political masterstroke by their rivals to take out a growing threat? The answer to that is probably going to shape the political landscape for years to come.